Hi, I'm Pattu from freefincal. I have published a list of the worst performing equity mutual funds from January 2013 to March 2021. The full list is available in the link in the description. I will just explain the method I use to classify funds as the worst performing funds. Before we begin, some news from my side. I had my first dose of the Covishield vaccine today. I have a comorbid condition. I've been taking immunosuppressants for my autoimmune disorder, myasthenia gravis, since 2012. So I was given the first dose, and I haven't had any kind of reactions to it, at least so far. So the next dose, I'm told, is in 6 weeks time. So fingers crossed. All right. So I'm going to use my screener for defining a worst performing mutual fund. And please note that the way I define it is very different from the way star rating is done in Value Research or Morningstar. And I use rolling returns because star ratings use trailing returns. They just use the last 3 years, last 5 years kind of performance. So this is how I would like to define a worst fund. So let's get to the example. So we have principal focus multi-cap fund as an example. I'm going to compare it with a representative category benchmark, the Nifty Large Cap 250. The choice of benchmark can change results, and you can argue that my choice of benchmark is arbitrary, just like my definition of worst fund, but that's fine. That's up to you. I must also clarify that fund analysis is also like blind men touching the elephant. So each method will give you different results. So if you take this fund, there are about 1,519 2-year rolling returns between the periods I just mentioned. And out of these, the fund has outperformed the index only 474 times. So 474 divided by 1519 is 31%. We will call this as the rolling return outperformance consistency score. So this fund has a less than 50% 2-year rolling return outperformance consistency score. It has a less than 50% 3-year rolling return outperformance consistency score, less than 50% 4-year 4-year rolling return outperformance consistency score, less than 50% 5-year rolling return outperformance consistency score. So we are going to call a mutual fund as a worst fund if its rolling return outperformance consistency score for 2 years and 3 years and 4 years and 5 years is less than 50%. So that's going to be our definition. So we are going to consider every possible 2, 3, 4 and 5 years between 1st January 2013 to March 2021. If the fund has a lesser history than that, but then it will be suitably shorter. So depending on that, we are going to make this kind of filters using the monthly equity mutual fund screener I publish. I had also pointed out that I've now started publishing a debt mutual fund screener as well. I'll try and make a video on that soon. And these are the benchmark I've used. For aggressive hybrid, we use the CRISIL 65% equity, 35% debt aggressive hybrid index. For contra funds, dividend yield funds, large cap funds, ELSS funds, we shall use Nifty 100. For focused funds, large and mid cap funds, multi cap funds, sector owned thematic funds, value funds, mid cap funds, small cap funds, for up to value funds, we shall use Nifty large cap 250. For mid cap, Nifty mid cap 150, and small cap Nifty mid cap 150. These are category benchmarked. I have talked about the choice of these benchmarks before in previous videos. Why I'm using a Nifty mid cap index for the small cap funds and so on. And so once that filter is in place, we have left with 95 funds. I think we started with something like 330 or 340 funds in all. And once the filter was done, like I mentioned above, we are now left with 95 funds. So in aggressive hybrid funds, there are 5 funds. Baroda Hybrid, JM Equity, Kotak Equity, LIC, Shriram Hybrid, and so on, Contra, SBI Contra, Dividend Yield, ABSL, ICICI, UTI Funds, ELSS, Baroda, SL, HDFC, Principal, Reliance, that is Nippon India, SBI, and Union Tax Saver schemes, Focus Funds, ABSL, HDFC, ICICI, IDFC, Principal, and Sundaram, large and mid cap, BOI, AXA, SL, Franklin, HDFC, ICICI, IDFC, L&T, Nippon Vision Fund, and UTI, and so on. You have other categories, large cap, mid cap, etc., etc. You can have a look at the full list. So that's about that. But please note that I have got several emails yesterday from people saying, why is my fund listed as worst fund? I think something is wrong in your analysis, because other people are saying Value Research says it has done well, Morningstar says it has done well, and so on. Look, I am using a different method. They are using a different method. And again, this is analysis is like blind people touching an elephant. Each person will come up with a different analysis. It is up to you to take a call on which is the better analysis, which is the more comprehensive analysis, and take a decision based on that. Just because I have labeled a fund as worst performer does not mean that it is actually the worst performer in your portfolio. Maybe you have got better returns because your lookup period is different from what I have looked at. And even if your fund is not there, that does not make it a best fund. You have to, either way, whether it is labeled worst or not worst, you will have to take a deeper look at its performance and take a call yourself. Bye bye.